Welcome to Haunt Topic Radio, the podcast for haunters by haunters. These are our scary visions.
Have you always wanted to know what it takes to make a haunted corn maze successful? Well, stick around because Bart Butler from Terror in the Corn is here to give you all kinds of advice in creating outdoor attractions, corn mazes, haunted facades, haunted houses, scare actor management, dealing with the weather in Colorado, and much, much more. To find out about Terror in the Corn, go to terrorinthecorn.com. Bart Butler has been around the industry for a long time, one of the OG guys out there like myself, and he brings a lot of useful information in starting and growing your own haunted attraction. And pay attention to the marketing section in this podcast and what he did to tweak the marketing and got thousands and thousands of more people in the door. So check that out. Me and Daryl would also like to invite you to the Transworld Halloween and Attraction Show in March in St. Louis. We will be at booth at 1443 under Scarrett Badges. So come see us there. Yes, me and Daryl are co-owners of Scarrett Badges. Even if you're not interested in ordering Scarrett Badges, just come by and say hi and say you listen to the show. We would love to see you. And an update about HauntersToolbox.com, which is our membership site. There's free memberships and paid memberships. Haunter is our free membership. Pro Haunter or Haunt Master are our paid memberships. We just ask for an email and your sign-up information. We've been having some sign-in issues over there. So if you've been a member for a while, you haven't gone back and checked your account, we have had some sign-in issues where you weren't able to view everything or even get into your account. Hopefully we have that fixed. If we do not have that fixed, email me at Brian, B-R-I-A-N, at scaryvisions.com. I want to know that things are working. I want to make sure you guys are getting the videos and the materials that you need to start and grow your attraction. We did some remodeling on it over the last few months, and some things were kind of jacked up in there. So please holler at me and let me know if you're having any issues, because we want you guys to be successful. That is HauntersToolbox.com. Well, let's roll into it. Let's see what Bart has to say about running and operating a haunted corn maze and attraction, and how you can do the same.
We have about 23 security people, and it was the he said, she said. You know, we've been a little bit more adamant about our rules and not breaking them and all that. So we've been a little bit more harsh as far as, getting on to people and stuff like that. We're wanting to stop. We're wanting to at least minimize the problems that we're having. But it was so bad this year that we had something that they've never had in their 23 years or 22 years that they've been open. We had a physically altercation in the middle of the haunt with our security and customers. So yeah, it was and then of course another thing we did this year, which is what I would suggest anybody doing now is we got our security guys body cams.
Nice.
So there's no more of this he said, she said stuff, and so there was a lot of me and Michael having to review a lot of footage of all the complaints we were getting from people getting kicked out. And really, I mean, majority of the people that got kicked out, that was the whole thing is that we want everybody to have fun. We want everybody to have a good time. And so if anybody's causing problems and all that, as long as it's not severe, we our security guys come in, they take them off to the side and they go, hey, this is what's going on. We can't do this, all that. We want you guys to have a good time. We want to have a good time while you're having a good time. So let's not do that. But again, they get belligerent and all that. And it's like, okay, well, if you're going to be this way, here's the exit, and that's how majority of the problems we had was the fact that we were trying to say, hey, don't do this. We've already asked you at the front. You've already been on camera sitting there saying, yes, I agree to these rules. and we're trying to get you, we're giving you a chance, but then of course they just get belligerent about it. And we're like, okay, well then you broke the rules, so out you go. But and so of course they go to the our manager and owner of the farm, and of course complain to them, and then she comes to us and she's like, what's going on? And so yeah, it's just, oh my gosh, just we had to deal with that so much this year that we didn't get to be able to get caustic. And so we're fine tuning a lot of stuff. And again, every year is a learning process, and so
What kind of things have you implemented along the way? What kind of procedures do you have to?
well, again, that's the whole thing is that something that's never happened is like, okay, we don't have a procedure. We've never implemented a procedure of what happens when this stuff happens. And again, so that way us and the management or owners are on the same page when something happens. And so we're implementing that system in where, like, if somebody gets physical, that automatically we have off-duty police officers there too, so that automatically goes to them. But let's say somebody's belligerent and not assaulting the actors, but verbally assaulting the actors and getting up into personal spaces enough to warrant okay, this is an issue. And then, okay, what's the procedure on that? And that way, us, as far as me and Michael and Kaniva and all that, what we think should happen, what security thinks should happen, and then what our owners think should happen, and then we congregate that together and then go, okay, so this is what's going to happen when that happens. And so now we're all on the same page. That's the problem we've always had, is we were never on the same page. Even though we're a part of Anderson Farms, we're in our own little world. I mean, when they come into the haunt part of Anderson Farms, it's like they've crossed the state line, and so it's just we're our own entity, even though we're a part of Anderson Farms, but it's just a cutoff from Anderson Farms. And so, but again, it's a lot of communication issues. So we're fixing that. We're fixing the communication issues, and then we're also, another thing is they're going through our security is going to start. Our managers are going to go through security training, even though they're off duty. They're basically retired police officers. Is the two main guys of our. But anyways, they're going to implement. So they're actually going to go and learn how to teach their staff the way we would like. Because again, we can't be the police officers that they used to be. They have to be like Disney security. That's what we want. No pointing, no doing that. It's always the hand or two fingers, or just there's all these little things. And of course, they kept getting complaints about our security staff this year being too harsh and all that. That's where the body cams came in, and we can actually pull the body cams and show them to the owner and go, look, this is the way they're treating our customers. The customers are lying, and you need to. So yeah, it's just a lot of stuff. So we're putting a security training in process. That way, the management of security can train the rest of our security staff on the way we would like things done. And then, of course, also the communication between us and the owners. That way we know this is happening. This is going to happen. And that this is the result of what's going to happen when this happens. And so with that, I think we'll do a lot better.
You have a lot of people to go through, right?
Yes. Oh, my gosh. So in 2020, and from my understanding from then on, and I came here in 2020, and we went ahead and opened in 2020, and we spread everything out, and we still got around 20,000. And from my understanding, that is what they've been getting for the last 4 years, is about 19 to 20,000 people. And so in 2021, I go, let's change up. I started changing up the marketing in 2021. I changed up the whole marketing thing, revamped everything, revamped the website. I mean, just everything, the image of the haunt, all that. And we actually got into spirit stores, and so we were in front of everybody with this whole marketing strategy that we're doing, and it actually worked. But of course, so that's another thing we did, was we changed up 60% of the haunt. And when we did, I go, let's change it up so we can be ready for if we get another 5,000 people, with this marketing strategy that we're doing. 30,000 people later.
Yeah.
So on top of the 20,000, so we went to 50,000 that in 2021, and it was absolutely insane. We were not prepared whatsoever to get more than double of our regular attendance. And so in 2022, we implemented a lot of stuff, but at that time we were actually putting people in enclosed trailers at the queue line and then taking them out to the middle of the corn and dropping them off out there in the middle of the corn, and they work their way through the corn to the ghost town. And we had to stop that because our tractors and enclosed trailers couldn't keep up with the amount of people we had, and it became a safety issue. So we had to nix that all together and then revamp how they got into the haunt in 2022. But in 2022, this is another thing is too before is when we had the queue line where we would hire everybody, then we're like, oh crap, we didn't hire any queue line people. We got to hire scanners. And so it was always a last minute thing. However, in 2022, with the influx in people, we hired 15 queue line people with a manager. So that includes a manager. So we have a manager that actually manages our queue line, because we run, normally we run about 550 people per half hour through our haunt. And I know at the very end, we were running about 625. So we can run 625 people per half hour through our queue line and into the haunt. And again, with us designing the haunt the way we did, it worked out because our haunt is designed for conga lines. And so it actually, me doing that new design, actually, again, I was just expecting 5,000. I wasn't expecting 30,000 more people. And so that year we also screwed up because in the corn in 2021, we made it where you could get lost in the corn. If you took a left, you just make a circle and come right back, and then all that. And we had several of those, and boy, that was terrible. So we had this huge, just massive line in the corn because nobody could find a way out. So, so we didn't do that again. But we run about 550 people average per half hour. It was crazy because every night before we open, I go through and I give all the actors, because this is my only time to actually interact with our actors, is I go through and I give them all fist bumps, tell them have a good night. And it seems to become a big thing. They like it. They if there's a problem that I have to fix and I can't do fist bumps, they're actually kind of upset about it, which was kind of weird to me because that was actually more for me than it was for them. It was actually something I got to interact with them with. But when I came out, I'm the first one out, and Michael came up to me one night. This was, I think, 2022, and he came up. He goes, "Yeah, 7:00's already in. We're already working on 7:30. And then he just stopped and looked, and I knew exactly what he was thinking. I go, "Yep, what you're thinking is right." He goes, "We have over 550 or 600 people in the haunt right now." And I go, "Yep, at the same time." So yeah.
Wow.
And again, it's a mile long attraction, but it's pretty insane the way we run it. I don't know how we do it, but it's pretty much you got to just train your actors, and a lot of training going on as far as our actors, as far as doing constant conga lines in the haunt, and also too having your room set up for that.
I think Scarrett badges are one of the smartest things I've seen in the industry in a really long time. Scarrett badges are basically either pins or embroidered patches, kind of like merit badges, as they are, somewhat named after, from Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and Brownies, and where after you've accomplished something, you can wear the brag tag of the embroidered patch. Some haunts put them on jackets, some put them on t-shirts, some put them on with the pins. I've seen them put them on lanyards. But the neat thing about them is they are very specific in what they are rewarding, and they're haunt-based images that reflect what's being rewarded. It's retention, it is bringing people back, and it's actually giving your haunters, your haunt performers, the ability to share that they are haunt performers. And, oh really, you're a scare actor, where do you do that? And then they will insert the name of your haunt right there. So it's also marketing. I've always been a big fan of Scarrett badges. I think they're great. So check them out, scarrettbadges.com. No, that is not a paid advertisement. That is just my recommendation. I think it's really cool.
ScottSwinson.com.
So how much of your haunt is outside in the corn versus actual in structures?
Okay, so the Terror of the Corn started off with a cornfield, and that's the reason why it's called Terror of the Corn. We kind of hate it now because, again, 1/6 of the attraction is actually in the corn. So 1/6 of it is actually in the corn. The rest of it is actually in the town of Ravens Gulch.
Okay.
And the whole thing is outside, so the whole thing is outdoors.
Yeah.
We try to correct a lot of people because, again, it used to be actually a wagon ride through the cornfield. And it was that way for many years. And then, of course, they started with a little town, and it was like a real old West town. You went down one street, came up a next street, and that's how it was. And then when the Greg Allen took over, he made it more into like a maze, and then I came in and then just went on with that and did a lot more stuff. So, but yeah, it's Terra in the Corn is actually just 1/6 of it is actually corn. And what's crazy is that one thing we heard this year, which was nuts, because you actually go through Demetra's barn, you go through Pumpkin Alley, you go down, and then you go out in the corn. I mean, you immediately just kind of walk down the side of the haunt to the back, and then go out in the corn, and you do the corn, and then you come up to the hotel, which is the Wells Hotel. And immediately, the one thing we heard a lot was, "Oh, this must be the finale." And it's like, dude, you're just now starting. But yeah, it was crazy how many people thought that was the end of the haunt, and it's like, no, you just went through a little over 1/6 of the attraction.
Before I forget to ask you, what type of marketing stuff did you do? Was it more focused on the characters? Because I see a lot of more character pics. Was it your story? What kind of stuff did you do?
It was everything. We revamped our storyline. We revamped the website. As far as marketing goes, we do some radio. We do we do a lot of social media. But what they were using before was, again, the photos weren't professionally done, or they didn't look like they were professionally done. Also, too, radio was kind of okay. And then, of course, the farm was using a marketing firm. Now, doing a marketing firm like Fairworm or something like that actually understands your business works. Majority of other marketing firms don't work because they don't understand your business model. They don't understand. And of course, this was like, and so in 2020, I was doing a social media post. And at the end of the season, I go, okay, can you get rid of these people? And I said, I did a comparison. I said, here's their post that we pay them for, and this is the amount of replies and all that we got back. Here's my post. It was just drastic difference. But yeah, so I started taking a lot of photos and doing a lot more lighting and a lot more character work and all that. And so it was just a lot of marketing photos that I started doing, posts that I started doing. They really haven't. Again, until a year ago, they still have the mindset the farm does. They do over almost two or over 200,000 people, in the span of that time, and they still consider themselves still mentality had, I'm a small farm haunt or small farm, and so they didn't really have a marketing team. They didn't have any of that, so. With me taking over, I just took over everything and just started using the social media and all that. Now we go even further with spirits. So we got in with Spirit, and we're like, hey, can we advertise with you guys and all that? We'll advertise for you. And Spirit's like, we don't need anybody to advertise for us. Everybody knows who we are. Everybody comes here. They know what's going on. And so we're like, okay, so what kind of trade can we do? And they go, well, Spirit of Children. Awesome. Okay, we can do that. And so what we did is we added a code into our system and then put cards and stands and posters all up in their stores. I think we had 22 stores that we had those in. And of course, if they put the code in, they got some money off. And then also too, we donated a Spirit on every code. And so we did that, and it's worked out. I mean, it's worked out really well for us. We donate a huge portion to their Spirit of Children, but it gets us in front of a lot of people. Just having all, because they have it all on their counters. I mean, it is just, and of course, it looks nice. We have actually stands that you actually put the cards in and all that. So it actually worked out really well, and it has been. We got a really good relationship with them. So that was the main things we've done.
Yeah, I've noticed when I was going back on the Facebook page how the photography has changed over the years, and the characters and the costumes have changed. Because I do have a picture of a 2011 before you even got there. Photo of the actors. So
yeah. Well, I mean, it's changed dramatically since 2019. And so, yeah, it's just, yeah. And of course, the haunts changed completely. I mean, they were a small farm haunt for the longest time, and then kind of started growing bigger. And pretty much, as far as Anderson Farms goes, pretty much majority of Colorado knows Anderson Farms. And so that's because I was trying to figure out how they were getting 20,000 people when they only had like 6,000 Facebook likes. I was like, how y'all doing this? So
take us through when you first pull up to Anderson Farms. Take us through what a customer sees and how they get to tear in the corn, and take us through
okay.
take us through a walkthrough.
So again, they come down this country road, which is not coming a country road anymore. We're actually starting to get surrounded by houses. But Anderson Farms is over is I think over 300 acres. So we got over 300 acres. And of course, as soon as you pull in, you'll be met, depending on the time of year, you'll be sitting in line to get in the parking lot, which is what it is. We kind of tell people, I'm sorry, we're popular. But you get in the parking lot. We actually built a new ticket booth this year, or the farm did. Huge ticket booth, which brought the lines down because the lines would be so long. But with the new ticket booth, we had more ticket windows and all that. Mm-hmm. So you get to the ticket booth, and then that's when you get onto the farm. So the farm is included in our ticket price. So our ticket price is $42. That's the most. We have a tier system, but $42. Now, again, if you look at the farm, to get on the farm, it costs $27. So the haunt's not that much money, really, to be honest. If you use the value of the ticket, that's what we try to get people to do, is to use the value of the ticket. And so the value of the ticket is you get to be on the farm all day long. We have the biggest corn maze in Colorado. Again, you can come there with your family, and there's just tons of stuff to do. We got fire pits, we got pavilions, we got stores, we got food, we got things, we got playground for kids, we got tire mountain, we got pedal carts, it's just bounce, big, huge bounce things. Just tons of stuff. Escape rooms, paintball shooting galleries. And so you could come there during the morning time, or you could stay there all day and do all this stuff, take your kids home at night, and then come back and do the haunt. And it's all the same price. And so the value of our ticket, if you come and actually use the value, is actually really, really good. So you see all that stuff. So when you come in, you see the whole farm, and you've got to figure out where you're going to go. We have signs on how to tell you to get where we're at. But so you basically walk the farm, and we're on the other side of the farm from the ticket booth. So you got to go buy everything to get to us. And as soon as you get to us, you're meeting with a queue line, and you have 5 different areas. And of course, we're time ticketing, so you'll have either all. It's gotten to the point now where we used to have 7:38. It's gotten to we can't run. It's 7:77 now, because we got to get all those 550 people through in that half hour and get them in and out. So you'll go through that. You go through our main queue line, which we have DJs that are set up playing music. Now, that's another thing we learned a long time ago is, of course, we're all big about atmosphere and all this, and getting people in the mood to go through the haunt and all that. But we realized when they're standing in line having atmospheric music, it's actually pretty boring. And so I know at the haunt house we put in some music, like music that everybody likes, and everybody's up just having a good time, dancing, singing. Like, oh, okay, we screwed up on this one. So so we have to put that into this queue line. We actually had the DJs, which are the animatronic heads from Fright Props, and we got them on bodies. And those used to actually tell a story in the enclosed trailers when we had the enclosed trailers going out. And so we just put them into a DJ booth, and they talk to each other, they say jokes, they say all that, and then of course they play music, and it actually really works. We actually watched a lot, and the mood, because we actually use real high mood music, and so high energy, and to keep everybody up and all that. And then of course they get read the rules, have to agree to the rules on camera. They get into another little queue line, go into shoots, and then that's when they go into the haunt. I hope I explained that.
Yeah. So take us in the haunt. What would we see last year? Do you know what causes haunted attractions to shut down before they even get started? The top 3 roadblocks are lack of funding, lack of leadership, lack of resources. As a member of the Haunters Toolbox, you get instant access to the tools you need to start and grow your own haunted attraction business. To get started, become a member at HauntersToolbox.com.
So if you go to the haunt, again, it's an early 1900s, late 1800s haunt. We used to have the Wells twins, which was our main villains of our antagonist of the haunt. And the one thing I didn't like about that was everybody looked the same. It was all townsfolk, and I wanted to have more variety. So in 2022, we bought Demetra the Witch in because she saw the power that the town had. The Wells twins had this power, and there was just the power of the town, and she wanted that. And so there's a battle going on between Demetra and the Wells twins. And then with Demetra, I could bring more fantastical creatures into the haunt, which means I don't have just townspeople running around. And so that's the first person you get to meet. We built a barn in 2022, which is the entrance into the haunt. And she's up there on this podium, but now it should be a platform that will actually have where it's controlled. She has a mic on so you can hear her talking. She does all these spells, talks to you and all that. She'll hit. We have geysers in there now that we'll have this year, along with light flickering and just making it like we wanted the very first of the haunt to be a wow factor. And so we did that. As you're going through the barn, you come out of the barn, you get the outside, you get the big, huge space in front of the pumpkin bridge, which we have 96 jack-o'-lanterns on. And that was a huge thing that we built in 2022. You'll go through several different other areas like Scarecrow Alley, the Crypts area, which we have a lot of crypts and stuff like that, which is on the edge of town. So, and then of course you go out to the corn. Now this year, we redid the whole corn this year. That's was our big project. Is they had these fence panels that were turned sideways like that, so straight up and down, and they would cut doors and windows out of them, and then they would put four of them together, and that's the shacks that they used to put out in the corn. And so I was just like, okay, it's the same looking shack. This is something that hasn't been changed probably 2 or 3 years before I even got there. And so let's just do this, and let's have Demetra take over the whole corn. So we built, I don't know if y'all know what slab wood is. Slab wood is basically,
Barnwood?
huh?
Is it barnwood?
No, it's actually
It's
with the bark.
Yeah, the bark
It's like
of it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the remnants of
Okay.
them cutting wood, and you can buy that here. I don't know how much it is there, but here it's $50 a bundle. I mean, the bundle's huge, and so
Lumber yards and stuff. We have Amish country that gives off that stuff. They sell it.
okay,
So,
yeah. So we just built everything out of that stuff, and to make it look, very primitive and stuff like that. And so we had more fantastical creatures, sounds, all that stuff out there. And so it actually made it a little another world. Another thing we do is wherever Demetra is taken over, vines are growing everywhere. And so we've noticed in a couple of people talking, and then of course Scare Factor coming through, that they were noticing the changes. So it's like, yes, okay, it's working. They notice when they're in a Demetra area and when they're not. It's just so it actually worked out. And so they go through the corn, and then they actually end up at the Wells Hotel, which is at the front of the town. And they start going through the town. The town has just pretty much anything an old West town would have. And then so another cool thing that we did, which I got this way back when 13th Gate. I mean, this is back probably 2009, 2010. They had a hallway that was in their asylum, and I loved how you could look all the way down there and you could see, people in and out of the rooms. But I love that look, and of course they reiterated that look into their Jack the Ripper scene street. So that's what I did with one of our streets. Was I did that same thing where it went all the way down. And of course, you can't get to it. You can go in and out of buildings, but you go in and out of buildings, and then you go back out almost all the way out to the corn again, and then you'll end up back into that street again on the other end. But no, we have. I mean, it's just everything old ghost town or old West town would have, and so we've been working on characters a whole lot because they didn't really have much when I got there. So we've been working on that a lot and trying to get like the haunt house was, basically where everybody, and of course it's starting now because a lot of people are going, oh, I know who that is, and they start saying their name as they're walking through their scene. So we're getting to that point.
So how many recurring characters do you have? Like Demetra and the twins, but how many others?
We've got we've got like these two right here in front of us. I would say, as far as reoccurring characters, I'd say we're about at 50% now.
Wow.
50% of actual characters, and then we're still working on the other ones. And there's a lot of just no name, and but as far as like characters, we're about at 50.
How many is that on your crew? What size is your crew?
I would say right now, every night we have anywhere between 160 to 170 actors.
And how many managers do you have?
How many? Let's see. We've got me and Michael, which are the general managers, and then we have a Q line manager, we have a security manager, we have a tech manager, and then we have production manager, which is Kniva, and then everybody has an assistant. So, but yeah, so
nice. That's what I need. Me an assistant.
And then, of course, we have a lot of team leads. The team leads, we have 5 team leads because we have 5 different zones, and then they have their breakers, which is underneath them, and then underneath them are roamers. So no matter what in this organizational chart, if somebody like last year, Edwards and Dylan, which is our lead tech, both got COVID, so they were gone for the weekend. But again, he had an assistant, so we were fine. And of course, I helped out, but I mean, it was just it wasn't that devastating to have 2 main guys be gone because we have that organization chart going on.
That's nice. Never waiting for the other foot to drop because you're covered. Something happens.
Yeah, like Kniva was out one night this year, but Brandon, which is his assistant, was right underneath him. Everything was fine. Brandon had to take off a night. Everything was fine because again, Kniva was there. So it works out because we're at that point right now where it's just like it's just to the point of wow, that's an
old photo of 2011.
Yeah, and that's the area I was talking about earlier. That old area that we're gonna rip down and redo with the stairwell and all that is this area right here. That's been there since I think 2004.
Wow.
And so we're just gonna reface it and then make it taller. So we've went as wide as we could go, so I'm building up now. So I'm making everything bigger and taller.
So how's
that's an old photo.
Yeah, that doesn't look like 180 to 200 and some people. So
no.
That's about how many we were running at the Dead Factory. I think about that many, about 60, 70.
Yeah. So
which is a good crew for a couple managers.
Oh yeah, that's great crew.
Your crew, man, I'd have to have assistants and assistants of assistants, and
yeah, it's an animal.
How do you communicate? Just through walkies and
Yep. Yeah, security. We did something new this year because again, it was just to the point where we're all on the same channel, and then this year we said, why don't we get security on one channel and us on the other? And it was so weird because the first 2 nights it was like I would key in, I go, is my radio working? Because it was the constant chatter of security the whole time, and it just was like dead. And because we only communicate when we have to, they're constantly communicating with each other on issues and problems and all that. And so
we tried 2 different channels, but
yeah, 2 different channels, and it worked out because whenever there'd be a problem, we had the 2 guys that would be in there watching cameras would have. They had a walkie-talkie to the farm and a walkie-talkie to us. And if there was any kind of codes, code blue, code green, whatever, they'd call and say, hey, Bart or Michael, we have a code blue at this location. So we're just letting you know and being aware. So, which of course,
is code blue a pass out or?
Code blue is somebody hurt that we need medical assistance. Yeah.
Is it easy to extract people from anywhere in the haunt, or is it?
It is and it isn't. Again, the haunt's so big, and depending on where your haunt is, I mean, we got little areas that you could cut through the haunt like crazy. And then this year, another thing we did is we have a road that's behind the haunt between the haunt and the corn. And before we would put up temporary fences, but there would be poles in the ground, so you couldn't move them. And then we had somebody have a seizure right there in the back middle of the haunt, and we couldn't get to them. And so we did this last year. We made them where they're actually gates now, so we could swing them up and open. That way, we could get a vehicle down there to the back of the haunt if emergency arrives, like we had in 2022. So, and that's the infamous Wells Hotel, which I think that was taken by me in 2020.
Is that just a facade? Is that just a facade, or do you walk through it?
You walk into it, yes. But it is a big, huge facade. But yeah, you walk in through it.
And do you have what kind of structures behind it?
Just 8-foot walls. We got the foyer, the bar behind the walls, and then you got the rooms, and then you exit out the back. But
do you do a lot of work on this one?
No, I've done some work. We've rearranged stuff. As far as inside, we've done the look of the rooms. We didn't really change the rooms. We just changed the look of them.
So I learned a lot of your distressing techniques from your old haunt house videos back in the day.
Let me tell you how distressing it is out in Colorado. It sucks. It's terrible. It's so dry there. That and then you got the sun. Those two things are absolutely horrible because it's so dry. So trying to get any kind of wet look dripping and all that, you almost have to go up there about 5 o'clock in the morning and work on it for like an hour and a half until the sun comes up, and then you're done. The sun will just dry it right up, and then of course the sun actually bleaches everything. The sun is harsh there. It's just it's awful. So it's a little hard to distress there.
So a lot of maintenance on the painting, or do you do it come in and just touch up stuff every couple?
Yeah, we touch up a lot of stuff. Again, it's supposed to be a town that's been in the early 1900s. So the more distressing it has, the better. We just can't have a hazard, a hazard from it. That's something that doesn't even exist anymore. That's Snowbriar. That's we built this in 2020. They had a zombie hayride or zombie paintball, and we tried to revise it, and so we redid everything, built all the buildings. It was the last leg of, let's see if we can make this work before we just shut it down. And we finally just shut it down in 2022. But basically, it's just a plywood wall with Synergy sprayed onto it.
A Synergy, is that like a stucco?
That's like stucco, yeah.
Kinda. Wells Hotel again.
Yeah. Now, this is the crazy part. So I'll just tell you the how it evolved. So in 2020, we actually had 3 queue lines. Absolutely crazy. 3 queue lines.
Bet.
So we had the queue line that was up there where we are now, that would put you onto a enclosed trailer and then drop you off to the back of the corn maze. And then you would have this building that would have another queue line. And then you would go through the corn, and then it would drop you off into the Wells Hotel, and that would be another queue line. It's just, it was, oh my gosh. So in 2021, we got rid of 1 queue line. Actually, just had 2, one in front of the hotel and the big one. And then in 2021, we just got down to 2, and in 2022 we just did 1. But yeah, this used to be a queue line in front of this thing.
So is everyone liking the 1 queue line better?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we don't get any complaints because they go, "Oh my God, I'm in another queue line." Yeah, it was pretty. Complaints pretty.
Yeah, I can imagine. I've been through a couple hunts like that. I don't really like it. To me, it kind of takes you out of the
element.
Out of the element once you're, I'd rather just be immersed the whole time until I'm done.
So this is my view all the time.
Yeah, I know. I see those Colorado pictures.
That's pretty damn nice view out of your office window.
Huh?
Pretty damn nice view out of the office window.
Oh, I know. So
the only problem I see with that is that building looks far too new.
Oh, that's because it is. It's brand new. This is when we started building this. This is actually, we're building, this was a facade. So basically, again, this all used to be open, and that's what drives me nuts is I don't want people to take out of the element, and I don't like people to see outside of the home. And so I actually put another facade right here in front, and they actually come out of the corn here. This is where they actually go into where that is. So we got this wagon. It's in the middle here with a bunch of other stuff, and this is what we call the orphanage, and that's been a facade for the last 2 years. This year we're actually building behind it, and so this will actually be it's just the facade for now, but we're actually going to have it where it looks like it's been burnt down, and so you're going to have all these people and kids that are all we got some small people. I mean, tiny people for our actors, and so we're going to use some of them as kids, burnt kids that are coming out after you in the orphanage.
I like it. Creepy.
So, but yeah, that's our view, and that's this is the barn. This is the entrance into the haunt. One thing I've never built a barn before, so I was like, okay, let's build a barn. I had to do some research on how to do it, but another thing they weren't used to is they were used to their scenes being very empty and clean. And then I came in, it was just like, this is an old ghost town, man. We didn't have broken everything everywhere.
Yeah.
I would jump stuff out because I see stuff like that as like the more stuff you have in your scene, the less they know where the actor's coming from. You know, they can't, when they scan, they can't go, oh, the actor's right there because it's not much to look at. And so, funny thing about the owner, Jim Anderson, he went by as I had all this stuff in here, and he goes, "Oh, is you using that as storage?" I'm like, "No, Jim, come in here. That's not storage, Jim. This is the way through the haunt." So again, this is the new entrance. Another thing we did this year is this little fence that we have here. We actually put corn all along it, so it actually hid things a little bit better. You didn't know what was behind it, and the only way you could see through was through this little doorway here. But this is the wagons during the day that go out to the pumpkin patches pass by this all the time. And so we really like to decorate things up for the people during the day because again, we do 50,000. We done 55. This year we would have done 58, but we had 2 snow nights and we had to refund 8,000 tickets. But they got 150,000 people more, you know, they got 150,000 people that go through the farm that don't come see us. So it's always trying to entice people
that's your advertising right there. Yeah. And as it gets closer to season, do you put like banners and stuff up around there, like open and
normally nobody's on the farm until I think they're only open a day or 2 before we open.
Okay. Yep.
But we do have banners. We do have our awards that we've won and a banner that we have on this down a little ways. That way, when they're going by, they're all like, "What's that?" And of course, it's right there on the fence what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So,
as far as distressing on the wood, did you just use like a solution to distress it, or was
actually
it
we used it's a something I can't think of the word, but it's a can you can buy from Home Depot that will distress the wood for you. Okay. And we had poor Sarah Edwards. Actually, she enjoyed it. I tell her poor because I didn't want to do it. She did all this to a lot of the wood that we did, like that brand new wood that you said. We did it on there too. So
it looks like old barnwood.
Yeah. Jim likes it so much that we're building him we're trying to find more things on the farm that we don't have to man. So more activities that people could do by themselves without having to have a staff member there. And it's a pulley barn. And so we actually built it out of metal, Dylan did, and then facaded it, and he wanted that look. And what it is it's a bunch of pulleys, different pulleys all the way around. It's like 6 different stations, and it kind of shows you how much you have to do with just this pulley. And it's like you lift up hay bales. And it's just a cool thing for people to learn and kids to learn while not having to man it. But again, he liked that distressing so much he wanted me to do that on that one too.
That's a pretty cool idea. Kind of like Wonderworks, but Terror in the Corn style, you know, like the science education center.
Yeah. Educate them, and then while their mind is busy, you scare the hell out of them.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's on the farm side. We can't even get on that side. Where there's a threshold that we can't even cross. So yeah, we have to be careful when we're doing things because again, kids come by and see us during the day. You know, in our queue line, kids see it all day long, and of course you have those parents.
So outside of the attraction during the daytime in your area as they pass by, it's the bloodlight, more childish sort of stuff.
Like we got the big spiders here. We got it's just we tried to make it more
family friendly,
you know, on the outside. And then once and again, you would be surprised. So they see Demetra here, and then you can kind of see where the spider is on the right. You can see this little light coming up. That's our pumpkin bridge. They go across that, and then as soon as they get into as soon as they go by there, they go into Scarecrow Alley, and that's where they all tap out. Like, yeah, we're done. I'm like, whoa.
You just started.
Don't be done. Oh my gosh, the amount of tap outs we have per night is absolutely insane, and it's because they're coming here and they're thinking it's a family friendly haunt, and it's not, because again, it's Anderson Farms, and of course, it used to be a family friendly haunt back in I think from 2001 to 2016, but it's been correctly going up, and then 2022 or 2021 we just revamped it, and it was just so no longer family friendly.
Are you guys getting a lot of customers from out of the area?
We're getting the whole thing is that there used to be this imaginary line that they had a hard time grabbing from Fort Collins, which is a huge city, and then Denver, because they're right there in between both of them. And there was always this imaginary line that people, this is what they told me, but then again, we talked a lot more about it, and we came up with the solution of what happened. There's this imaginary line of people Denver wouldn't go too far north. And then there's people that from Fort Collins that wouldn't go too far south. However, with all the construction and new homes and all that just coming from both sides to that area, there's no longer that line anymore. People are they're coming up from Denver, they're coming from Fort Collins, and then the whole surrounding areas. So again, it looked like we were getting about we did our exit surveys, and then they do surveys when people buy tickets, and it looks like around 48% were returns.
Wow,
so which is good. I mean, 50% of returns is good, and so because I've always talked to Dan McCullough from 13th Floor back in the day, and we were talking about repeat customers and all that. And of course, 13th Floor, they have knowledge because they have all these different locations. And he goes, we noticed a trend that's every 3 years. They'd come see us, and then they go see 2 other haunts the next 2 years, and then come back. And he goes, that seemed to be the trend.
Yeah, I can relate to
that. That's just what we saw.
Yeah,
it's pretty close though, because when I was doing the Dead Factory, I kind of had the same rate of people. They would take a year or 2 off and then come back again.
So, but yeah, we pull from 2 huge cities, and then pull from all the smaller cities that are around us. And but again, Anderson Farms is such a huge name; everybody knows who they are. And then, of course, I think with us doing the new marketing and getting Terra in the Corn and all the spirit stores, we got in front of a lot of people's faces, and of course, again, like I'm trying to tell other people, you got to have a good product also, otherwise they ain't going to come back. So make sure you have a good product, and then you market the hell out of it. And so
that's right, word of mouth too.
Yeah. But that's Pumpkin Bridge right there. And so, that's right after the barn. And they walk through that. There's no actors, anything like that. It's just a cool, So believe it or not, that face was absolutely simple to make. I didn't know or not. We use that slab wood. So, but
kind of reminds me of some Haunted Overload stuff there.
Yeah,
just about, doesn't it?
Yeah. I saw you got to go to see Eric's thing too. Yeah.
Finally got to go to Haunted Overload, man. I was just I've been wanting to go there for years, and they came with a Legendary, and I sit there, and as soon as they announced it, I went in there to Rochelle, she's the office manager, but also the owner's daughter, which she's in. And I went in there and go, okay, I usually say we don't go to these places because I've already been or all like that. We need to go to this one. I do, and also too, I've been wanting to see it first. And she was like, okay. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I was getting a lot of photos from everybody going.
Oh yeah, phenomenal. That place is awesome, and what he does, it looks like an art project, is what it does. The haunt does. It's artistically, it's phenomenal.
Yes, snow.
Welcome to Canada or Colorado.
That's close.
This is just an area that was actually just thrown together. This is after you come out of the gypsy areas, and this is just a transition thing. You walk into here, and this is actually where the Undertaker is, where you have all the coffins and all that you got to walk through and stuff like that. But this is just a little transition area. It's nothing big. It's just this one facade off to the right, and I mean,
it's like your old materials, a lot of organic stuff,
old
barrels, old rocking, old chairs, ladders.
Yeah, and again, none of this stuff was out there. And, that's the first thing I did was just raid the whole farm. I was just like, okay, I started taking pictures of everything and sending it to Jim and going, hey, are you using this? Hey, are you using that? You using this? You using that?
What are you going to use that for?
And initially he thought you were nuts, but he sees it all together and sees what the customers think of it and goes, oh, there's another chair out there.
Basically I when they pull something up, they go, no, Bart, Immediately go, can I have that? There's
So-
still some old farm equipment that I still got to grab. It's out in the field that I got to find a place for.
This podcast episode sponsored by Scarlet Badges.
We always were looking for ideas to get those actors to take it to the next level. I really want to do something that they can use more than just a meal, or they can use more than just a that a boy, that a girl. They love this stuff, but it's not really promoting a haunter. And then I sit down, Scarlet Badges comes out. That's when I realized this is amazing, because not only is it giving them an attaboy, but it's also promoting them all year round. And to promote somebody, to give somebody accolades all year round and have them be able to wear it on their shoulder with pride means a lot. This right here says this is who nailed it on this day in this year for the rest of their life, for the rest of their haunting life. And that's what I really love about this product, is you're able to give haunting to somebody an attaboy 365 days a year. And that's, so hats off to you guys. I think this is a great product, and I wish you the best of luck because it's awesome.
Get your Scarlet Badges at scarebadges.com.
What do the Andersons think about the changes?
Oh, they love it. I mean, they absolutely love it. They should love it. I mean, the cool thing about the Andersons is they're great people to work for. Absolutely great people to work for. Another thing is too is they just leave creative control up to us. They just have a couple of rules, and that's about it. So they absolutely love us because, again, we do very, very, very well, and they don't have to manage us at all. At all.
That's nice.
They just leave it up to us. And again, just like I told Michael this last year, and I go, us being stressed out and trying to get things done, that's on us. It's always on us because we're the ones that are doing this to ourselves. The Andersons aren't asking us to do all this stuff, and so it's just, but again, they absolutely love what we're doing because we're bringing a lot of people in here. We're bringing, we're making the place bigger and better, and they're not having to manage us with it. So they just leave it up to us, and then they just they just go, what's going on, and we just tell them what's going on, and so there's times where the owners they won't step foot into the haunt. They don't even know what's going on until probably the end of the season, and they'll walk through and they're like, wow, that's pretty much it.
Well, that's because they can't get tickets because you guys are putting 50,000 people through. So
yeah, I know they try to find a time where they could actually go through and not be in a conga line. But yeah, it's so there's one of the new shacks that we built. We built two of these exactly the same. This is actually Demetra's hut. So as soon as this is coming in right as you're going into the corn, and I like fog if you can't tell.
Yep.
and so there's a big, huge amount of fog in the corn. And the cool thing about this is that you walk into this and you can hear us doing spells and all that. There's a cauldron in the corner, a bed over here, spell book up there, tons of wildflowers and all that hanging from the ceilings. And then you got pop strobe, which is a UV pop strobe, so you can see all the symbols. That was a cool thing that our assistant production manager did this year, is she created a alphabet of all these different symbols. And so if you actually got this cipher, you can actually read what's on the walls, even though nobody cares. So she's got all those written all over the walls and stuff like that. And you can only see it whenever the UV light. And of course, we have another one that looks exactly the same that is at the opposite end of the corn where you come out. So it's making it look like you're going into a different dimension. Demetra's realm, and with all the fantastical creatures out in the corn and all that. And then, of course, when you come back in, several people go, wait, we were just here. They're going through the same thing. They're just going through backwards. And so, so that's the first thing through.
That's a slab wood too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2x4 frame, and then that, and it has a metal frame on the bottom that's connected all together, and that way we can move it in and out of the corn without it. The metal frame will keep it all square.
Yeah.
Does this corn come down eventually? I'm assuming.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It gets planted in June. We cut the design in, I think 2 weeks after it gets planted, and then I think a week after that we start putting the buildings in place, and then we let it grow and then go from there.
You ever had any years when it's hasn't grown very tall, or is it all?
I haven't. they always use a different one every year. And this year I liked it because, again, it's probably with all the rain we had too. It stayed green for a long time. And but I know to the left of this building doesn't grow very well because that's the back of the corn maze. It doesn't grow very tall, hardly at all. And with the right side and all that, as soon as you go and more into the corn maze, it gets taller and taller. But no, we use a different type of corn every year, and they've used some that have been so brittle it would snap off, and it didn't work very well. That they used some that grew really tall, but it broke real easy. There's just all these different variants, and so they actually really haven't found one they liked.
You like that fog though? That fog was pretty nice.
Yeah,
that looks pretty sweet.
So that's a zombie mask I made this year. We have crypt area, and again we have 170 actors every night, and our makeup department gets a little overwhelmed. So I've been adding more masks and masks and masks.
Yeah.
But I want them to be able to talk and or growl or make noises without being muffled. So that's the reason why I always do something with the mouth still exposed. That way they can make noises and be heard. But that's just a half mask that I made for them. And of course, Brainchild has a hold of it. So I think everything I do for the haunt, my wife goes, "Can I have that?" Like, "Oh, I do to them. Can I have that?"
Brainchild Studios.
Yeah. So that's just another little mask that I just whipped up real quick for the zombies. That's inside Demetra's hut right there. This was when I was walking through at the end of the night, and everything's already been turned off. And so I thought, oh, this is cool because the light was coming in through all the slats and all that. And only the candles where the spell book was the only thing on, which those are battery. So I had to just turn those off as I was walking through, and thought that would be a cool picture.
Yeah.
I guess you guys had to fight the elements in October, right?
Yes. It hasn't been that bad. In 2022, we had one cell that just set over and just dumped on us like an hour before we opened. We couldn't open that night because nothing was able to soak into the ground. It was just standing water everywhere. And of course, it's a freak thing because Colorado normally doesn't get that. And of course, I'm like, that's what we get in Texas. But and then last year, again, the last 2 nights that were open, we had snow, like a big huge snowstorm come in on Saturday, and then single digit temps Sunday. So we weren't happy about it because, again, we want 60,000 people. We were already 8,000 on those 2 nights, 8,000 pre-sold. And so we were like 2,000 people away from being at 60,000. So we were kind of fighting them back against that. But as soon as I saw the single digits, I was definitely not wanting my staff to be out in the weather on single digits. But and then the snowstorm didn't seem it was a precaution. We went ahead, did it 2 days in advance for the snowstorm. Snowstorm wasn't as bad as they said it was, but again, the owners were fine with losing that money, and me and Michael were not.
Yeah.
We wanted that 60,000 people.
That's this year though, right?
That was this year, yeah. So that's that gate right there. That's the exit of the haunt. So they enter here and they exit here. Now again, back in the day, we used to have the trailers coming through here. So we had a person that would be like a crossing guard for people exiting, and but we don't have to do that anymore because we don't have that. So we actually made those huge gates, and that way they couldn't venture off onto the road either side because this is the road that they take people out to pick pumpkins. So, and then in the queue line, you can see the people standing over there, but the queue line is basically right to the right of that photo.
Oh yeah,
because we bring a temporary queue line out into the road. Lots of entrance photos.
Yeah.
Oh, that's worth the corn on there. Yeah, so we got the corn on there. So that was this
got
year.
the corn on. Mm-hmm. Is that sign a foam sign?
No, that's straight wood.
Oh, nice.
I found that wood out in the field out there. I was like, oh, this is cool. We'll put this as a backing. And then I scrolled tear on the corn out, put it on there and painted it.
It's
a heavy sign. It's heavy.
I bet.
We don't like moving it at all. So
I hope another one. Stop, do not enter.
Hold on real quick. I'm sorry. What are you doing? Oh, it's not you. Okay, our cat's coughing. I was trying to figure out what was going on. All right, so these are our bone boys. That's another little half mask that I made for these guys. And basically they sit on top of their head. So all of them are actually looking straight at the ground. And what it is they're these are the costumes will actually be done this year. We ran out of time, couldn't finish the costumes. Costumes will have a spine on the back of them and bones on the sides and all that. So it actually look like they're an actual skeleton. But they come out from underneath this wagon here. But again, I made it where when they come out and they're crawling, they look like they're looking up at you. So it actually is a pretty cool looking thing that we have. And then of
Without
course,
actually hurting their necks by looking up at you.
Yeah, and if they do look up, their face paint is a sculpture. So, but those actually worked out really well, and they actually enjoyed wearing them, and they're hilarious. They're so funny. But no, they do an awesome job. And again, these are the ones that will be coming out from underneath the wagon as the ladies of the night are heckling the customers from above.
Right on.
So the ladies will be the distraction and they'll be the scare, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now are they sliders?
Huh?
Do they slide or just they crawl?
They just crawl. Yeah. Yeah. All the haunt is road base. So we put road base in there in 2021. It used to just be plain dirt, and we started road base in the haunt. Let me tell you, that's not fun. Bringing wheelbarrows and wheelbarrows and wheelbarrows through a large haunt like that. And then last year we had rains where half of it got washed out. But no, these were easy sculpts. They were just a real simple sculpt that I did real quick so these guys would have something to put on their heads.
Going back to the road base, I know people listening may have haunted trails. What is it, and where do you get that at?
I don't. The farm gets it because they use it, but it's like a crushed rock with some pebbles in it, and you can kind of see the little pebbles and all that down there. But it's just crushed rock that we put on top of the soil, and we put about 2 inches, I guess 2 inches, 2 inches thick. The only bad thing about it is that you gotta let it get wet for it to set. So to pack down and stuff like that. Otherwise, the actors will just dig holes into it and still loose, which was the problem we had this year because we had all that rain, which washed it out. Then we put the road base in, and then it quit raining. So, yeah.
When you needed it, yeah.
Yeah, but it works really, really well. We love it. Again, we'll have puddles forming and all that, but it'll be rock solid underneath it. So sometimes it gets a little mushy depending on how much traffic there is. But no, the road base is awesome. We love it. The whole farm
used it in driveways and stuff before.
But they bring it in by the truckloads, and we use it like crazy. I mean, it's just
now you can pick it up from landscaping companies, or better if you got a quarry or something that you can.
Yeah, I don't know where they get it from. I just know that I say, hey, I need this, or they always have piles of it out there in the parking lot that we can always grab from.
I know outdoor trails are always looking for like straw or wood chips, or they use stuff to get the trail down. And
but throw some of that down, water it down, and have your crew march over it. Do your physical endurance training on the trails. Help pack it down, right?
Yeah, we normally if we have a new area, we take the Bobcat and it's got a roller on it.
Yeah,
not everybody has that luxury.
I know.
Get you in them riding lawnmowers and roll down the road.
Yeah. Oh,
some of your characters.
That's just my characters. Of course, there's Cotton, which of course I made him at the haunt house because I basically Edward says it's me unfiltered is all it is. It just basically says, and of course I knew why I created. I created them to argue with people, but I also created them so I could say stuff because I was an owner of a haunted house and I can't say things to people. But
that's the
now, if I don't know I'm the owner, I can say whatever I want.
Right.
But again, he's a carny. Well, of course, he looks like a clown, and that's the reason why I did that is so people would call me a clown, and I'd argue with him because I wasn't a clown. I wasn't dressed as a clown, So I just paint my face so the kiddies trust me. That was the whole thing. When I moved to Tennessee, I needed an overall character when I was running around the trail there, and so I came up with an exterminator, which is the guy in the bottom right hand corner. I just came up with him.
It's funny. He kind of reminds me of you seen any of the memes of the what? No way guy.
Yeah.
Who is from Alberta.
Way. Yeah. When I first started working with Dark Hour, after I got rid of the haunt house, I came up with a top right character, which he fit in very nicely at Dark Hour at that time, and loved that character. He was a lot of fun. And then, of course, the last year I was with, right before I moved to Colorado, we had a vampire show. And I will tell you about the vampire show. I was sitting there going, man, this ain't going to work. This ain't going to work. At Dark Hour, they're doing this big vampire thing. And I'm like, man, how do you make a vampire scary? And everybody, I want to suck your blood. I'll give you something to suck on. So there's always this other stuff. And I was just like, how is this going to work? How's this going to work? And let me tell you, I was wrong. I was so wrong on that show. That show was awesome. What Alan did was phenomenal on that show. But so this was one of my vampire characters that I had there that I would run around in. I was training during the show and making sure everybody was doing okay and all that. So I was running around completely. And then, of course, I'd go in there and poor people, because, I don't know if you know who Rue is. Rue at Dark Hour. You don't know who Rue is. Rue is like he is the, I think the manager, like the main manager of Still Studios now. And then you have Alan. And we would be in the cemetery scene, all three of us, and we're all competitive. And so those poor people going through the cemetery scene with me, Alan, and Rue, it was just
they just got it, didn't they?
They didn't know what hit them. So yeah, it was a lot of fun because we always try to one up all each other. It was just oh, you're getting them, I'm gonna get them over here. So yeah,
that's the room I would hang out in, just kind of
Yeah. Oh, and the cemetery's huge, so. Yeah. You were out of breath. I mean, you were running everywhere, trying to get as many scares as you could to one up the other guy. So yeah.
I like those vampire teeth.
Yeah.
The monster teeth. Is that dental distortions?
Dental distortions. And I will tell you, those things are awesome. Loved them, all that. They suck to talk in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's not really much talking that you can do with those in. That's the only terrible thing about them.
Mm-hmm.
Another view. Well, that's recent.
I went on your Facebook profile. Picked a. Oh, this was nice. That's pretty. I like the mountains. All right.
Yeah, that's the view right outside of our shop. And so yeah, I just walked out there and I was like, wow, that looks cool. Let me flex on social media.
Go ahead.
Oh, the cool thing about those little carts back there, the green and red one.
Yeah.
Those are basketball goals. So what it is it's like a little grain bin or whatever that they do. And basically what you do is you shoot the basket and it'll roll down into the thing and then roll right out. It's a natural thing they already have set up.
Oh.
So he just built the sides of it, the backboard, the sides, and so yeah, those are little cool things. That's another thing the farm does that way they don't have to man it. And people are on those things constantly. So I even caught myself going out there and playing on it for a little while. So
yeah, that's cool. That's what my brother he took over the Dead Factory and it did some outdoor games.
Uh-huh.
He built this big. Remember the game Labyrinth, where you try to get the ball through the maze?
Yeah.
So it's probably 4 foot by 4 foot or 6 foot. So 2 people got to control it and he used a golf ball to go through this maze. So I don't know how much time he spent on this maze, but it was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So that's what they're trying to do, incorporate more stuff so no one has to man it.
Yes, that's the huge thing is so you don't have to staff stuff.
Right. I think that was the last one.
That's the last one?
I think so. I know. I wanted to pull up that there was a video. Was the video of the witch? Is she on one of your?
Yeah, she's on our 2023, I think it is. Or you want a picture or video? Video.
And I was would she be on yours or would she be on?
Should be on Terror's.
Okay, I think that's where I was trying to download the video, but then I couldn't download it. So what kind of stuff do you guys have planned for this year?
So in the story, we're trying to keep. We're trying to keep it's storyline, and storyline is we noticed that they have tunnels. The Wells twins are supposed to have tunnels all through the town, but we don't have no tunnels. So I was like, okay, let's fix that. Let's make tunnels. So that's a big thing we're doing this year. We're switching out the bone wagon area. We're doing that. We're putting a huge clock tower in. So every town needs a clock tower.
Yeah.
So we're putting a huge clock tower. I think it's going to be like 35 feet tall. And we're going to have big speakers up there. And of course, we're going to have it on a timer. So it actually chimes every hour. And we haven't really let the farm know that. So starting about 4 o'clock, it's going to start chiming. And then, and of course, it's going to have a ticking sound the whole time. So you're going to there's going to be that noise too. Another thing we're doing big this year is I want to immerse people more into the scenes. Again, it's so big, you can only do so much, so much. So all of our indoor scenes, I want to put a false ceiling up. There's not really a ceiling there, but it looks like there used to be one, or that way you have a difference between, okay, I'm actually in a building and I'm out of the building. And so it's kind of like what I did with the haunt house, where I made it edging all the way around the room,
Right.
and then put slats here and there, and then maybe put a piece of ceiling up here, but having struts on all the ceilings and then having that edging around and see if that, and then putting some slats up and all that to see if, to make it feel more like you're actually indoors and not have a problem with the fire marshal or any kind of codes.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing the orphanage, which we're, creating it and then basically making it look like it got burnt down. We're doing a little bit more stuff out in the corn. We're making we would have these little speakers out here and there around the buildings that we'd put out there, but we're actually going to put a central speaker system out there. I got the idea from Haunted Overload because that's what they have. They have this one place that has these huge speakers, and that's their sound for everything. Now, each individual shack out there will have its own little speakers for their sound, but the overall ambient sound of the corn will just become from that. We're redoing the entrance into Demetra. Demetra was just standing on a podium. Now she'll be on a platform where she'll be able to have control over geysers and lights and all that. And another thing we're building this year, we're doing a hanging hollow, which is almost kind of like it's like an area where we have burlap bodies hanging by their feet and stuff like that. We're also bought a lot of props this year. One thing we bought last year was, I think, 3 Gore Galore puppets. We bought another Gore Galore puppet this year, and they haven't bought very many props this year, or not this year, but for a long time. And so we sit there and goes, hey, here's a wish list. We don't have to buy everything. It's just a wish list. This is what we want. And they kind of looked at it. They go, oh, okay. So when I went off to Cozumel I get a message from Michael going, they approved it all. I'm like, what? Because we use that. We use that. Okay, we want one thing, so let's ask for 3, and then we'll get the one.
Right. Yeah.
If that has worked, that hasn't worked. We asked for 3 things, we got the 3 things. We asked for tens of thousands of dollars worth of props and animatronics, and they're like, okay. And so
as many customers as you had in there last year, I'm sure they could probably squeeze.
Oh yeah. So there you go.
Let's play this one. That her at the end? Was Demetria was she the one at the end?
No, that's one of the Wells twins. Demetra was the one that was kind of reaching out. Her face kept changing. Right there's the first. Now, if you go, you can probably pull up her picture. You go to photos.
Where did I go? Oh, here we go.
It's still on videos for some reason. Oh, there we go.
Is it down here?
Did you go to photos?
Well,
no, there's a section at the top. So
there it is.
Ag photos, Tear in the Corn
Tear in the Corn photos. There we go. I'm gonna have to scroll down a little bit.
You just tell me when to stop.
Oh man.
Who does all the social media for you guys?
Yeah. We do. A lot of Kaniva does a lot of the like there she is, Demetra the Witch.
Oh yeah.
To your right, down, right there.
Right there. Okay. She was the one that was in the group or the banner photo. Yeah.
So another thing we did this year that we did every Thursday was we had meet a character. So every Thursday we would put up a character and their backstory, and it actually worked out so well this year. That, of course, again, the only problem is that people don't read, so the attention span is very size. So we're actually looking at doing starting in August, start doing little videos, like little 30-second to a minute videos of a character, and that will be, and then we're going to do all those. So next in 2024, we'll have a character every Thursday that actually be a video instead.
So question for Demetra, is that makeup, mask, foam, latex? What is it?
That is a silicone mask.
It is a silicone. And who made that one?
Immortal. It's one of their half masks.
Yeah, because Jan commented that it's gorgeous. Yeah, she's a pretty good looking character, good looking mask. So
awesome.
Like all the natural, was it like a rabbit fur or something on top?
I had my wife make the costume for her and all that. Of course, I told her what kind of witch she was. She was an earthy witch. And so that's what she incorporated into the costume and all that. She used to have beads that all came in front of her face and all that, but those just don't work. Not with an actress that moves her head around a lot, so like that. And then, of course, that's Michael's character.
Michael.
Yeah.
Dr. Hans Ulrich.
Ulrich or whatever.
Ulrich.
And of course, he talks to you about, he's a German doctor, and so you don't have to, he just shouts at people, but he shouts, and his accent's terrible, but it sounds good because just the way he presents it. So he'll tell you that too. He says, the accent's horrible, but everybody just loves it.
I'm sure he could pull it off. He's pretty good.
Yeah. So we do a lot of customer reviews every week. We do anything that comes out for movies or anything like that. It's always we're constantly trying to stay in the public eye, or at least on social media.
Yeah.
So, and Kaniva does all that during the off season. Kaniva took over that for me, so I could focus on building the haunt and all that. So Kaniva's been pretty awesome about that. He's done a really good job.
Using social proof is really good. Customer testimonials.
Yes.
Yep. This girl creeps me out. That's one that creeps me out. There.
Yeah, that's another Brainchild special. But that's Zelda.
Now, will she be in the orphanage, or is she somewhere else?
No, she's actually on 2nd Street, which is over by the general store. And as soon as you come out of the mine shaft or whatever, she's right there, coming down the street at you.
Now, I noticed one of the comments from somebody was, you should be at Crypticon. Do you guys go to Crypticon as Terror in the Corn or any of those other things?
We do go to Colorado Festival of Horrors. Yep. Again, I don't know if you know anything about Texas Frightmare Weekend. Texas Frightmare Weekend is a huge horror festival that we've been there since they first started, and Haunt House was a big part of it. And so Colorado Festival of Horrors was kind of the same deal that's in Denver. It started out small. It was like, let's do what the Haunt House did. Let's be a part of this and be a huge significant part of Colorado Festival of Horrors, so that way when it grows big, we were just there with them, and because it's going to happen. And so we do Colorado Festival of Horrors, and that's pretty much we also do Monster Day with the Distortions. So we're big. We're basically their biggest sponsor for Distortions for Monster Day in Greeley. And so Ed, Marsha,
and some of the characters attend these events in addition to.
Yeah, we have a booth, and actually we provide actors for Ed and Marsha to wear their costumes or ban their games and stuff like that. And then we have our own characters roaming around and all that. Alan comes up with Stilt Beast and so we had a couple other haunts that started coming on board too. So it's been getting bigger every year. So she actually just left for acting school. So
like professional acting school?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. She liked haunt acting so much that she decided that's what she wants to do. Not haunt acting, but actual acting.
Yeah.
And so she's so tiny. She was working a bedroom that nobody could work. Nobody could work the bedrooms. And she came in there and she just totally just made it. And she became such a huge character, even though she's this tiny thing. I was even scared about it. They had her as a roamer this year. And of course, I'm sitting there going, oh my God, you're so tiny. I don't know if I want you to have a roamer because I want to be able to keep an eye on you.
Yeah.
But man, she took it. We even had her come out to the queue line one night. She ran with it. She's awesome. She's just this little tiny thing too, but she scares the crap out of people.
I noticed that other scare actors sometimes they'll get a spark in a haunted house and then go do something professionally.
Yeah.
And in a way, it's sad to see them go. You feel good for them, but it's like, man, I am losing such a good actor.
I know. We actually, her laugh is awesome. She has this little kid laugh, and it's creepy. Everybody talks about it. So before she left, we had her come into the office and got the microphone out and actually recorded her laugh so we could put it on the track actually in the hotel, which is where where she started. So we'll still have a little piece of
the ghost of her is still haunting. Her ghost.
A lot of cool characters.
Yeah, that's one of the gypsies right there. We have a huge gypsy caravan, and that's one of our gypsies. The gypsies are trying to keep Demetra because they know Demetra is more detrimental to the town than the Wells twins are. So they're right there on the edge of town between her and the corn, or between the town and the corn. So they're trying to keep, so basically the one thing they came up with in 2022 was they burn the witch. And I was like, ooh, I like that. And so they started saying it a lot. So I built them a pyre, so that they had a place to, if they caught Demetra, they could burn it. And which got bigger this year. Now there's like 4 pyres. There'll be 3 on the outside. One will actually be an animatronic from Poison Pops that we got this year. And then the big one that I made, actually, we're going to have a burned witch crawling out from underneath it towards customers. So, and then we have a gallows too, where they would hang a witch, and we'll actually have a hung witch with her neck all, and of course it'll be another one that it'll be another crawler, so the head will be up here, but her neck will be all broken coming out from underneath the gallows.
Wow.
So,
well, it seems like you guys got a handle on the advertising. Seems like you got a handle on the customers. You got some really good reviews. You got some really good characters. So
yes, thank you.
Kudos. It's looking pretty damn good. I'm just jealous that I can't come see it because we're busy on doing our own things. So
I know. That's the sucky part about being a haunter, is the fact that you can't go see other haunts, man. It's just yeah. I hate that. That's one thing. Everybody's like, yeah, I'm going to go see this haunt. Screw you, man. I want to go.
I just want to pause for a moment and thank Philip from the Haunted Attraction Network. If you guys listen to this podcast, you'll love everything that Philip is doing over at the Haunted Attraction Network. That's hauntedattractionnetwork.com. There's weekly podcasts. Philip also does the seasonal entertainment source magazine that is free to subscribe to. Yes, it is a real magazine to your mailbox. Him and Scott Swinson also do Green Tagged. But if you're subscribed to the Haunted Attraction Network feed, then you will get it in your podcast player. So go on, check out everything the Haunted Attraction Network has to offer. And make sure to sign up for their email newsletter at hauntedattractionnetwork.com/newsletter. It was nice that you got to go see Haunted Overload and the East Coast over there. So
I know Legendary this year is up where I used to work, which is up there in Akron at the Haunted Schoolhouse and Laboratory and Factory of Terror. Mm-hmm. And that's cool because Akron Haunted Schoolhouse has came a long way ever since I left. I mean, Shonk, who runs it now, has done a phenomenal job. I saw a Scare Factor video, and I was looking at all the stuff he did, and I was like, hey, man, this looks great. Yeah, so yeah, they got some good stuff going on. That was, working for Akron Haunted Schoolhouse was awesome. I mean, it was great. Just being a part of something that's been around since 1974, and of course those buildings are just they're just crazy. They're so old. One's 1921, the other one 1932. They did all the stuff for the blimps in that one building and all that. It had a lot of history. So it was really cool working up there.
Wow.
The only problem was it was Ohio. When it came to I told my wife, she was complaining that we absolutely hated it. I went through all the pros and cons and all that. And we started going through all the cons of living in Ohio. And oh my gosh, this long. And so I was like, let's go through the pros. The only pro was my job. Yeah. So, and working with John Eslich, I don't know if y'all know who John is. He used to be the president of the HAA, a great guy, awesome guy. He's a really good guy to work for too. So, but stuff that I really liked him. I don't get to see him as much. So, but yeah, they're going to be on the Legendary tour. We're trying to get on there. We're trying to do it. Trying. trying. We kind of put a little thing in there and go, hey, we'll
nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I know a place you guys can go.
Yeah, I know a place you can go in 2025.
Uh-huh. Well, you got the place for it and the setup, so
Yeah. So yeah, we're trying to entice them by going, hey, Stanley's not even like, Stanley's right down the road. Stanley, y'all could go to the Stanley Hotel. There's other stuff y'all could do.
that's right.
Yeah.
Make a weekend of it.
But yeah, it's Tara's come a long way. We're still getting there. Again, another thing. Here's something I can share with you. Our off season, we have a off season schedule. We have something going on once or twice a month. What we got coming up? We got improv class coming up, and then we got game
When's
night.
that start?
That starts this month. Improv class is the last Friday of every month. We also have game night where everybody brings board games and we sit around and play board games. Have another improv. We're going to do a Rocky Horror Picture Show tonight where everybody dresses up and we do the whole Rocky Horror Picture Show thing. We have costume distressing. Have a costume distressing. We've got a play pretend. Here's another problem we're having is I'm trying to figure out how to say this nicely with the kids nowadays and the identity crisis they're having. We're playing pretend, So if you got a girl that wants to be a guy and all that, that's fine. I mean, it is what it is. That's fine. But the role we need you to play is a girl. But you have to, you're pretending. You're not really, we're not doing anything. So actually we have a class over that this year because it was such a problem last year. So it's called Play Pretend.
Getting out of their comfort zone.
Yeah. I mean, it's just playing pretend. We got airbrush. Anybody wants to learn how to do airbrush makeup? We have that class. We're going to be taking over medieval festival one time. So we'll all meet up at a medieval festival. You'll do some actor training. We have a camp out. We have a terror camp that we all meet up and go camp somewhere. And so another actor training, which is called Little House on the Prairie, basically is talking about the time frame that we're in, all that, and how everybody should be talking, saying, all that. We have character development, and then we have Monster Day, and then we have stunt actor training and tryouts. So, and then of course we get into our regular actor training and orientation and all that. But yeah, we got something going on once or twice a month.
Which is good because it kind of keeps them fresh all year.
Yeah.
It gives you guys some bonding time too, because you're still sprinkling that in together.
So yeah, another big thing we did for actor retention is something I've been wanting to do for the longest time. I've been wanting to do it forever, and I just haven't stayed somewhere to do it yet. And I got the idea. Of course, I'm not. I did get the idea from Zombie Army. I like the way we're going to see John LaFlamboy's classes because again, I go to classes anyways because again, if I learn one thing, it's worth the class.
Yep.
But John LaFlamboy and his team and the way we do things are almost exactly alike. A lot of similarities. And so I like the way he had Zombie Army because I like the way it brought unity to his people. And I was like, I want to do that. So we came up with what's called Fright Squad. And Fright Squad became a hit sensation overnight. I couldn't believe it. It was crazy. We were a little worried. So what we did is every year is we either got everybody got a free T-shirt or something. Instead, now you get a free back patch, which is a tear in the corn back, and we with the Fright Squad on there. And oh my gosh, I don't know if I could find it or not. But again, you get patches and all that again. But it's like a big back patch, and you wear a black denim jacket. And so we had our key players, like our key core group. We went ahead and gave them theirs, and they bought their jackets and they already had them on. So all the key players still already had them. So when we handed them out, everybody's like, okay, all the cool kids have them. So they started putting them on. And of course we have patches. Every year we have a year patch. And then we actually have our Brandwin, who designed the symbols and all of that. She actually designed all the patches for everything. So all our award patches and all that. And it went off. I mean, it went off like crazy. And so we're called the Fright Squad now. So when we go out, I mean, it's a sea of black jackets with Fright Squad on the back of it, patches all over their jackets and all that, and everybody's proud of it. And
that's where I got a bit of an idea for a certain company that does that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
A group of people that were at a convention, and it's like, damn, they're a force to be reckoned with. Here's 6, 7, 8 people all wearing matching unis with the name of their haunt on it and what they do within the haunt, and it's like, that's cool.
Yeah,
we get a lot of good feedback too, because
it's haunt gangs.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, because what your patches are phenomenal. I know that what's his name? Kneva wanted to do his own, because we were going with you, and then he was like, I want ours to look different than anybody else's.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we also have a designer that designed them, and he did all the work.
They could talk to your wife about it. It was either, or it might have been Michael. Talk to somebody at Transworld. Was it
probably Michael?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was talking to me about them. But I think, like you said, that you all design your own stuff.
Yeah, but the patches are a hit. You know, even if you use yours, they're a hit with you.
That one small thing, you know.
Yeah, I know.
It's just like it's a recognition.
Kind of like me going through with the fist bumps. Just that little small thing is it's so huge on there.
It's amazing sometimes how that little thing can just drive so much worth, right?
Yeah,
because your actors are feeling worthy because you're doing those little things that nobody notices, right?
Yeah. So. We do a lot for our staff. That normal haunted houses, I haven't seen majority do. And again, we have the resources to do it. So every night, at the end of the night, we feed them. I mean, but we have a kitchen. So we have a kitchen. And so every night, at night, we all go up to what we call the party barn, which is a storage, and they have a cafeteria line. And but this year they've been pre-making all the food, so we have everything outside. And they close the party barn down and go home. But yeah, we feed them every night. We have nightly prizes and all that, and then of course at the end of the year we have this big, huge party.
How many nights are you guys normally open for?
We're only open 22 nights.
Okay.
And then we're only open like on Fridays and Saturdays. We're only open 4 hours. We're not open the traditional 5 hours.
7
we close
to 11.
At 11. Yeah. Yep. And guess when we shut our gates? The latest, the last person to go into the haunt, the latest, 11:15.
So you've got everybody through by 11.
We don't get everybody through. We get everybody
in by 11:15.
Yeah. Normally by 11. I'm shutting the place down. Yeah. Because again, I tell the actors just like, hey, I want to go home just like you. I don't want to be here until 2 o'clock. I've done that before. I've done where I've been in the haunt till 3 or 4 in the morning. I don't ever want to do that again.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
we've had people call. We've had people call from out of town and say, "Well, we're almost on our way. We'll be there 11:15." I'm like, "Sorry,
yeah,
we're shutting down 11 because I got actors that they got to get up and go to work tomorrow." You know, so it's like,
well, that's my argument with Rochelle, because she'll call right as we're shutting something down. She goes, "I got people here at the ticket booth," and I go, well, the group that we have in there is halfway through. And I don't think we want to pay 200 people for a group of 6 another hour.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense as far as the money goes. So yeah, she's got on board with that. And so, but yeah, it's just we try to get them through and get out and go home. But yeah, that's a big thing we do, is we try to treat especially our staff. Try to treat them right, and so they'll come back.
What's your retention on staff?
88%.
Wow.
And we're hiring, I think. So we didn't know if it was a fluke or not. We went from 20 to 50, and then of course we were like, oh my gosh, okay, I've never seen that in the industry before. I don't know how this is working or what we're doing. And of course that's another thing we talk about all the time. I don't know what we're doing right, but we'll just keep doing what we're doing. I don't know what we're doing right. But so I thought it was a fluke. I was like, okay, this is a fluke. That's too big of a jump. And then so we raised our prices. We raised it up $3 in 2022, and then we ended up with $55,000. And we're like, okay, let's wait one more year. We'll staff it a little bit more this year, but not enough. But we'll staff it a little bit. And so we raised another $2 this last year, and then we would have hit 58 with the pre-sale, but we probably would have hit 60. But we had to close down those 2 nights, so we had to refund 8,000 tickets. But again, that was raising $5. And so this year it's like, okay, this is our new plateau, so we're good. So we can go ahead and add the extra staff that we want to. So we're probably going to add 25 more people, 25, 30 more into the hunt. So it's become a huge thing to deal with. It's not like I'm used to my, having, 50 actors, and that's
me too.
Yeah.
That seems more manageable instead of, oh my gosh. Yeah. So
you almost got to let go control. Just
oh yeah. Oh no,
let
I
it go,
have. And again, I think the cool thing is that we all have the same vision, and we all make sure that we're all on the same page. Doing so, with us doing that. Now again, we did have to clean a lot of house to get to that point. So we had to let some old folks go that have been around a long time. It caused a lot of pushback, from them and all that. But for us to get where we're at, we all got to be on the same page. We all got to have the same goal in mind and the same vision on how we want the hunt. And right now we have the staff that's doing that. So it's easy to let go of control when your staff has the same vision as you do, if that makes sense.
So I think you got a lot of good things going on. You're communicating with your staff, your actors are doing things together, and you're doing things with the actors.
Yeah. So Kaniva last weekend had a meeting with the zone leads, and I think it was Saturday. I came over to his house, and he went over because we did a whole new expectations guide, whole new training, and all that this year, and went over everything with them to make sure if they had any input on what we were doing and all that, and everybody thought it was great what we were doing, and so yeah, everything's going good, and we'll just keep doing that. Again, we have an end of the year meeting. So I think this year we're actually going to have a middle of the year meeting to find out what worked, what didn't work, or what we need to, what we could fix before the hunt's over with, and stuff like that. A lot of meetings.
Yeah. So what happens when you run a business, or you're in the business? I guess it's not really yours, but you're still running it, managing it, everything.
Yeah. It's to the point now where I really don't have to be at these things that they do. But again, I'm a part of the team, so I am there every time. I don't have to be. They've got it under control now. And I have full trust in them, but I'm still there to be a part of it, like all the off season stuff.
Yeah.
So the whole hiring process, I don't need to be a part of anymore.
Do you take part in the trainings and
the training? I'm hardly there for that. I'm there. I pop in, I think twice. I pop in twice to say whatever I need to say. So the training and the hiring, I don't have anything to do with that anymore. That's because Edwards and Kaniva, they got it. I could be in there working on the hunt, or editing a video, or getting social media set up or something like that. Instead of putting my time into that, I can put my time into other places. It's been nice. It's been nice with the team we have. So you can kind of let it go. And it's been nice because I learned to do that at the haunt house, because I did everything myself at the haunt house, and it got to the point where I was like, okay, I'm gonna start putting people in place, and then I just went out there and queue line act the whole night. I didn't do anything. I came in, I turned the power on to the haunt, and I went and sat in a chair until we opened. And I went and got in costume and went out there and queue line and played. And every time I came in, they were like, we got it. And it got to the point where the haunt house ran so well, and so like a well-oiled machine, that it caused problems. It caused drama. The haunt ran so well, it caused drama. You know why? Everybody's bored.
Yeah.
Because the haunt was running so well that nobody had anything to do. So when anything came up that was a problem, they all tried to do it, step over each other's feet and all that. And then that became drama. It was just, oh my God.
It's always something, man. It's always something.
Okay, so now you can't just sit in the chair. You got to throw a stick into the cogs every once in a while, just so they have something to do, but not bad enough that it's a major crisis.
So
do one thing in each person's area.
I don't have that problem right now. There's always something going on in that haunt with that many people going through, and that many people just as far as employees. There's always something. Always.
So tell everybody where they can find Terra in the Corn, and then tell us a little about, you guys still releasing videos of the Hunter's Life?
Yeah. Okay. So tearingthecorn.com. We're actually Tearing the Corn in Colorado. There's a Tearing the Corn in Arizona. That's not us. And then, of course, you got Facebook, Instagram. You got Tearing the Corn on TikTok. And then, of course, you have Hunter's Life. Hunter's Life's been hard. Trying to come up with content each and every week was a challenge this year. It would get to the point where we would be such into work all day long that all week long that we would go, oh crap, it's Friday, we have no content for next week. And so we would film all this stuff on Friday. So this year we're actually I think we're going to do it's a 16 episode starting in August. I think it is.
Nice.
And we'll do it August to December. And so it's just going to be a 16 thing episode. That way it gives me more time to actually put more thought into us filming and what we're doing instead of us just running around acting like, not really teaching anything.
Yeah.
So it'll give more thought. And again, we can actually take a scene and actually have that be an episode. So it'll actually start with the design all the way to finish. And we'll show that. And so and hopefully people can learn from it or whatnot. But yeah, it's a Haunter's Life. It's on YouTube. It is what it is. It's an inside look at what we do during the day. We think it's stupid. And we're kind of funny with it. We got a new slogan. It's called "Damn it, Dylan." By the way, we have shirts now.
Damn it, Dylan.
Damn it, Dylan. Again, a lot of people sit there and go, "Oh, that's it's all an act," and all that. And I'm like, "No, that's how we are." It's just that I don't get enough of it. We are always screwing around. We're always messing around. Poor Dylan's usually the butt of the joke, but he's a young one. Of course he is. So he is. But yeah, Damn it, Dylan had been happening since 2020. And so that's just and Kaniwa goes, oh, that needs to be like Buffy had that hard, at the end. We need to have Damn it, Dylan at the very end of all the episodes. So that's how that came about. And of course, we have some shirts that have Damn it, Dylan on it now. Brandon just designed those. We also have the Michael Edwards shirts.
Oh, I think it's cool how you and Michael have been friends for a long time.
Oh, yeah,
and worked at different places together with each other, and
it was insane. Again, we barely missed each other back when I started hunting, because he started hunting in '88 and I started hunting in '92, and he left in '91. It was Verdun Manor, and I came to work in '92 when the year he left. He went to Screams, and then of course back in 2002 he finally came back to Thrillvania and started working again, and we worked together for 2 years there, and from 2002 to 2004. Actually, no, I'm sorry, we worked 4 years because he came back in 2000. Lance died in 2002, which was the owner, and we kept going until 2004. Then the drama was just too much, and we just kind of parted ways. It was like we always had this motto: if it's not fun, why do it? And it wasn't fun anymore, so we didn't do it. And then, of course, I worked for various different haunts from then, 2005 to 2006. Then 2007, I built the building, acquired the lot, and built the haunt house. And then called him up. It's like, hey, I'm building a haunt right down the road from you, because he was really the next town over. And he's like, no, man, I'm retired. I got a little girl. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm retired. I was like, okay. So I called him back again. Hey, man, we're opening. Come on up, man. Come see the show and all that. And all that. And finally, his wife said, "Will you just go?" And so he came up there. And then all of a sudden, that first year, he kind of hung out just a little bit. He just came up there and kind of hung. And then he kept coming back up there a little bit more every week.
A little bit more.
And then 2008, his wife was like, "Why don't you just go? So in 2008, he started with us, and then we had that till 2013, and then we started doing, got rid of the haunt house, and then did various jobs here or there, taught actor training us, and then of course his thing is that we're going to work together. We're going to work together again. We're going to work together again. We're going to work together again. I was like, okay, because then I left for Tennessee, and then up to Ohio, and then back to Texas, and then actually Tearing the Corn, they called me. They were actually Greg Allen was actually trying to get me at Tearing the Corn whenever I went to Tennessee, but he couldn't get them to commit fast enough, and I already had a job. So he called me up, and he's like, I said, I can't go anywhere. And he's like, well, he goes, what about Michael? And I said, Michael's good. I said, call him up. And of course I had to tell Michael at the time, because he's like, well, I don't know. Because what Alan Hops called us at that point was we were failing upward. We wanted to do haunting full time, but our jobs kept increasing our money. The year I left post office, that I just got a $10,000 increase, right before I left. I'm like, oh, I'm done. But so it was hard. And then they called him to get him, see about him. And he was kind of, I said, dude, this opportunity is never going to happen. I said, if you don't take this now, you might as well get out of haunting at all, because you're not going to get to where you were at. So he took the job, and then he's like, I'm going to get you here. I'm going to get you here. I'm going to get you here. And I was like, at the time I was up in Ohio, I was like, no, man, I'm good with where I'm at. And then of course I wasn't good with where I'm at. So I moved back to Texas and started working with Alan at Dark Hour again. And then he called me up out of the blue and was like, hey, you want to move up to Colorado? Well, yeah, I want to move up to Colorado, because we used to vacation here. And so this is our vacation place. We try to figure out how to move here. So it's like, yeah, I want to move to Colorado. And, so they finally got me in there, and moved up here within a week before COVID hit. And the rest is history. I've been here since. And of course, everybody's like, are you going to go anywhere else? And I'm like, no. I got asked to, at this last Transworld, this guy wants to invest in a bunch of haunts across the U.S. and he wanted to start in Dallas. And so he propositioned me to work for him, going and building these haunts and getting them up and running, and then going to the next city, building a haunt and getting it running, and then just continuous doing that. And I go, dude, I'm too old. I said, I'm where I'm at. I love where I'm at. I love where I'm working. If you would ask me this, 10 years ago, I would have been, yeah, let's do this, but
yeah. Well, Bart, we've taken up 2 hours of your time, but we appreciate you getting on. Yeah.
That was a quick 2 hours, man. Like it flew by.
Start talking haunt, man. It goes on forever. Just wait till Transworld.
Yeah. That's exactly it. My favorite time of the year.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I've always kind of envied you a little bit, because you were on post office, your post office. And when you took the leap, I'm like, oh, there he goes. And I was like, I call them the golden handcuffs, because I got the 5 weeks vacation, and then I got the medical, and I got so at 6 years, I'm hoping to be in a position where I can travel and do stuff and have more fun.
It's nice. I go to work every day, and it's nice. It's nice because I actually look forward to going to work. I go in there and I'm like, okay, I get to create today. I get what I'm doing today. And so I never actually get up in the morning and go, oh. And then my wife, she's the one that actually told me to start going full-time haunter, because she couldn't deal with me at the post office anymore. Because I was
always bitching about it.
She couldn't deal with it. She couldn't deal with it. And it was just,
it hasn't changed much.
No. I still have friends on Facebook that are there, and I'm like, I'm so glad I don't work there anymore, because they were there over there.
Yeah.
But the post office was great, because again, I got paid full time, only worked part time, and
you had a roll route. Yeah, you were done at 2:00 or
that at the latest. At the latest, there was times where I'd get off at 10. It was nice.
Run that route.
Nice. Yeah. My customers, I had to tell my customers to chill out, because when I had day off or when I took off, they'd be all rah, 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 rah. I go, I spoil you. Y'all need to shut up. I spoil you by getting your mail this early.
I get the same thing. We can't take any more days off because we get the wrong mail. Or hey,
that's it. I'd say the greatest part about that job was I actually got to work my speed. That was a nice thing. I didn't have to work under somebody else's speed. I got to work my speed, which I have ADHD. So of course, one thing that drove me nuts was I do things differently, because with ADHD, I count seconds when I do stuff like that. So I'm always counting seconds. And it was crazy. So I do things differently. And they'd come in there and they'd go like, you don't need to do it that way. And I'm looking at them. I'm like, I had to go to the postmaster, and I go, why is this manager telling me I have to do it? Who's the first one back every day?
Right.
Who's the one that has the less mistakes? Why are you trying to change that up?
Whatever I'm doing is working, so just leave me alone.
What I'm doing is working. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
My methods may not work for somebody else, but I get it done better, stronger, faster, and more correct. So just go away.
Yeah, go away. Leave me alone.
I always say get your accuracy down, then you can decrease your speed. And then when you decrease your speed, worry about your safety. Just go.
Yeah. Casing was like a whole thing. Like I would time myself on how much of a tray I could get done within so much time. And I try to beat myself on that time on the next tray. And that's what I always did. That's how I always made my job a little bit more.
And what can I do different? What kind of shortcuts can I take to get
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
whose fence can I hop over? That's me. Whose backyard can I cross that doesn't have a big dog in the way?
Well, I'll tell you what, being from Texas, man, it's just and being a Gen X, you run out of water. And of course, what we used to do when we were kids, we'd drink out of the hose. So I'd go find the side of the house and fill.
I've thought about that too. I'll hit a sprinkler every now and again.
Oh yeah.
So you're going to be at Transworld?
Oh yeah. We'll be there. We have a class that we're teaching on. Also, we're teaching a class about as far as getting your numbers up. So and sharing our experience on what we did to get from 20,000 to 55,000.
Well, we're looking forward to that, and hope that everybody else can see that. And if you guys are watching this after Transworld, let us know what you thought of their class. So
yeah, hopefully you like it. Hopefully
that'll be entertaining.
Oh, entertaining at least.
Right.
But based on what, some of the stuff that we've seen, I think it's going to be pretty damn informational as well. So
that's right.
We always hope so.
All right, Bart. Well, we'll see you at the show.
Awesome.
We'll be there.
Thank you for
drop by and visit us. And
definitely.
We'll make sure we track you down one way or another
on the mezzanine.
That's it.
Right. All right.
Okay.
Have a good evening, Bart.
Y'all too.
Thanks. Ciao.
Bye.
This podcast episode sponsored by Scarett Badges. Get your Scarett Badges at scarebadges.com. Also sponsored by Hunter's Toolbox. Take your haunt to the next level at HauntersToolbox.com. Thank you for listening to Haunt Topic Radio. Please leave a comment wherever you found this podcast. Each comment you leave will help spread the word to other haunters around the world. See you next time.